all rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Which of you want to go first? Jeremy? He got his hand up first.
Been a slightly slower month, but not by much. I think we had 77 for May. Time's been good, so but other than that, things have been going smooth. So, any questions?
Thank you, Jeremy.
What time of the year,
Sorry.
for both of you, what time of year is most demand for ambulances? Summertime? Or just no rhyme or reason?
We don't see really any, yeah.
Just,
If you look at this year, if you look at last year, it'll tell you kind of by the month what the call volume was, but on average, I'll say it just varies, right?
Yeah.
This year so far has been abnormally slow, and I hate to say that out loud.
yeah.
But as far as my report goes, we had 199 911s for the month. Add in our transfers, we were about 250-ish. So it's still slower than average month for us. Everything else, times all look great. I told the crew I wanted their back in service time under 20 minutes. So for the first time, we're 19.29 on average, so pretty happy with that. We're getting hot and heavy into our, what we call our PR season, so we're out in the community doing something, seems like every day. Had Shriners this weekend, we had extra trucks staffed. Starting ferry planning, it'll pretty much be a copy and paste from years prior. But all in all, status quo. Working on just met with my ambulance rep this past week for our new build, got it spec'd out. Instead of being delivered in mid-25 now, they pushed it back to December 25, but
Questions?
and you guys have the second book is just the hospital does an annual report every year, so this is the 23 hospital annual report. Talks about some of our new services we've added, some of the highlights of the year.
Thank you both. Appreciate it. Okay. Couple things. We have the groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. We'll meet here first, and we had to do a special meeting, so we're totally transparent. So then we'll go across there, and we'll have a little brief ceremony. Is there any of you that would like to say anything during the deal tomorrow? So far, Chapin Rose has said he's going to be here. We've invited public officials, elected and non. So that's basically the ceremony. It's going to be brief. Then we'll come over here for simple refreshments. Okay, that's sort of the plan. I think it's fairly casual because we're going to be out in the field, so we're the appropriate stuff. We'll double check here in a little bit on what they're going to do as far as the site. I know they have shovels. Carl brought up the fact that it's a little deep over there in ryegrass, so we need to make sure that we've got an area selected and we can get there without getting a bunch of chiggers or whatever.
Can you get one of those Batwing motors out that we bought?
Well, but I wanted, and Erin did offer, but we'll see what they've got planned, and if they don't, then I will ask Erin to make an area. Any questions about that? I think we've got 5 of us going to be there, because I know Lud said he wanted to be there, so we have 2 absentee. We've got 1 farrowing pig and 1's busy with other things, so at any rate, that's the ceremony. I'm going to say a few brief words about thanking folks and telling everybody who's involved. I don't imagine it'll be a big crowd, but you never know. Any questions on that or suggestions that I could do that would make it more to your liking?
Do you police station gonna be there? I got one guy keeps calling me.
Courthouse probably.
Courthouse, and he asked me about, man, I'll talk to you about it. It's just some guys calling me.
We are gonna briefly get some information tomorrow morning on the
Sidewalk.
right. And they are bringing diagrams. But the original plan, the 40 feet plus the landscaping was $20,166. The 22 pads plus 2 lead ups or pads is $19,025. And then I still have a question about this, but it's roughly $46,000 to do the entire circle. That does not include the $20,655 for the original.
60 altogether.
So you can add together, you know, if you do the spot, you know, the 22 and what we're originally gonna pay, that would be roughly 40. If you do everything, it would be roughly 66,000. Okay? But we'll get together tomorrow morning and figure out what's going on. Okay?
Is there a time on that?
I do not have a time
Okay.
yet. Dan sent some kind of a memo, but I'm not sure what. I'll let you know. All right, Andy?
Oh, well, they got the mail pouch in at the treasurer's office and assessor's office, so you got that done. Other than that, not a lot.
Sorry.
They said they got the mail slot in at the treasurer's office.
Saw it. They stuck my hand in the thing from the outside,
Yeah.
and the paint was still wet. So, but there is no lock on it. That's the way Don wanted
Yeah,
it.
so that's what I was told, like, when I came in, I thought that he said, no, Don didn't want a lock on it, so I guess there's a lock on the door.
At any rate. Did you want to talk about the paint and where we're at on the paint on the top?
Yeah, we can. We stopped by there last week, and their paint, that was the primer that was on there. They said the paint, they wanted to paint a gloss coat versus a matte finish, and they said that it would give it a lot more durability to have the gloss coat on it. So, and that one side was painted when we saw it, and I didn't think it was offensive at all. I thought it looked fine, and it will dull a little. So, did they say when they thought they'd be done? I know
No,
they can get those 2 lifts with the lift they got there, but then they'll have to bring. My understanding, they'll bring the crane in to get the very top of it, and then be done.
Are they painting just the one section where you had to replace, or going above
No,
that?
they're going to paint the whole. Everything gets painted because it's actually a little different color.
It's white, and I said, we paint that thing white? I figured that was probably a primer.
It's primer. It's a little, that one side was painted, it's a little darker than what it was before, but I actually think it matches the building better than what the other did.
Is that extra, is that something you hadn't planned on doing?
No, what's that, changing the color a little bit?
No, doing that part, was that in the original plans to do that?
Yeah, it
On the
was.
top, the paint?
From the storm.
From the
Because
storm
I
from
damage.
the
knew
storm.
that, I knew the one side, you had to paint it, but I'm asking, is that, the rest of it was in the original plans to paint all of it? all
Yes,
of the top?
because you wouldn't have been able to match.
Plus there was damage, edge damage on the other part that they had to.
So all this is being, insurance is
Insurance
covering all of this?
Yes, sir.
Because there was quite a bit of damage all the way around
Yeah.
when you got up there and looked at it.
Right.
You couldn't tell how much damage from the ground.
Not
Oh,
very
no.
easy.
No.
When you got up
But
there, you could
I remember him the other day saying there's different places up there that's cracked and it's loose and they're attaching, putting screws in or something. as they go
Yeah.
to
Well,
repair it.
the stuff that was on there was a latex water-based paint, and which would only
All
last
goes
about,
back on.
would explain, 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
The stuff they're putting in, they could last up to 20, 25 years.
Okay.
No, that's why I brought it up, because I knew you had questions.
Yeah, I just wondered. I was gonna say they had blue around windows, they paint no damn windows blue, that's figured out.
That's tape.
Arrows
Yeah.
painting, so.
Yeah, I figured that out too.
We're going to, along that line, we're going to seek a closing in July on the radio tower. So we can start, they want to get their stuff done after we have the closing, but we'll allot for that in agreement. But that way we can start doing things out there, because
Okay.
we can't do anything till we own it.
Don't want to, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do some cleaning up and getting, like there's a couple old dishes and things that need to be gotten out of there.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe some trees cut down.
Depends on the type.
It's a jungle out there.
Gotta go and look at them, and mark the ones.
It's just stuff that's growing wild out there.
Yeah.
I just understand.
I just took
I
a,
taught biology.
Took an
I know what- I know
opportunity to
good
be
trees and bad
obnoxious.
trees.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
what else, anything?
I can think of right now,
Okay.
unless you can think of something I need.
Dan?
Yeah, we had a little problem out at the shelter. I was out there last week, and there are 40 dogs in the shelter, so it is packed. The lady that Andrew hired from, I think Louisiana, she didn't work out. She wasn't showing up on the weekend to feed the dogs or clean the pens. So Andrew got rid of her. She's only been here about 3 months. So. And then, but she does have a retired military guy that's interested in the job. He has adopted some dogs from the shelter, so she thinks it'll be really good. The cages, she's got somebody working on the cages, so that should be done fairly quickly, so. It's
She
just
really
a-
likes the gal from,
Pardon?
she really likes the gal from St. Mary's.
Yeah,
She's
yeah, she does a
very
great job.
computer oriented,
Right.
she's done a lot, and is working on getting that neuter, spay neuter place set up, helping her with that,
Right.
so.
But she thinks the new guy will be good. Retired military, he has like 6 dogs of his own, and he's adopted 2 or 3 from the shelter, so she thinks he'll work out, so. I guess Lena's still helping too, so whenever she can. Just walk in there, you got, it's different. Have you ever walked through the shelter out there?
Yeah,
I mean, it's so loud.
takes a special person to want to do
That-
that.
Yeah, not everybody can do that, so.
And it will take your breath away at times,
Oh,
too.
yes, yes.
So,
But I give Randy credit, she does a great job.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
we need to support her all we
Yes, we do.
can,
I do.
and make sure that she gets somebody out there.
I
as
watch
soon
what
as she-
happens when they don't run the board again.
You can
Oh,
still
I
go
thought
out
you
and
were,
visit.
we were stuck with you for,
No. I may not be here that long anyway, so.
well,
Pushing up
don't
the
talk
daisies.
like that.
No, it's just a shame they can't find good help out there. I understand that
Well,
too.
people think it's gonna be a lot more warm and fuzzy than it is.
No, it's not.
It's
not.
No, nothing like that.
It's just plain hard to find good up here.
And every time I go out there, she has 4, 5, 6 pups that somebody dropped off, and she rescued, what was it, 7 from Kansas. I think 2 or 3 were dead, and that's been a month ago, so just constant.
The ESDA Center is moving on, the new place, the sign looks very nice and very professionally done.
Oh, I saw the sign.
Isn't that nice?
Really nice,
Yes.
really nice.
She's got people lined up to do things at different times, so we probably need to meet with her here in the next week or so, just to,
I finally found out what ESDA means.
okay?
The sign says, actually spells it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Emergency
Another-
Services
look really
Disaster
nice.
Agency.
Pardon?
Emergency Services Disaster Agency.
Yeah.
Did we want to talk about this time, the office that we looked at, and we talked to Scotty about putting the chief, so,
Can.
well, so everybody
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
What is actually east of what's Rick's actual title.
District fire chief.
District fire chief was looking
That's the 5 volunteer,
area.
Vermillion, Grandview, Redmond,
4 station.
4,
Yeah.
and,
Oliver.
yeah, Oliver.
And they were looking for an office space.
They always, in the past, they just had a chief for each one, but no one was really in charge of overall of them. They had 3 trustees that kind of oversaw it, but they decided because of paperwork and everything that they needed a full-time person to address all their things they needed to get done. So
Would that
they,
building hold that? That's a good sized building.
they just need one little
Just one
office for the
Just
fire
one
chief.
office down at the new government center.
Oh,
He wanted to, he said, Scotty said that all they needed was a room with a desk and able to put a computer in there and some
Right.
file cabinets.
Right.
So we gave him, I told him, we showed him 2 or 3 and said, pick the one you want, basically. So, the advantage is to have a couple extra.
That's good. Russ, do you have anything?
Anything to add?
Carl? Lisa?
Not a lot. And I apologize for dropping the ball on conversation on the employee handbook. But boy, there was some fruitful email discussion going back and forth. And again, many thanks for being put in the middle of that and dealing with it. But we do still need to meet. And the staff that responded are really sharp people who asked really good questions. And I know we don't have time to meet tomorrow, but we do need to meet before the 26th, which is when we have department head and supervisor meeting. And I couldn't remember, did we have that meeting last time at 10 a.m. or at 2 p.m.? And I could
I
go
believe
back.
it was 10.
That's what I was thinking it was too. So,
26th?
yes, but we need to meet we need to meet face to face with that group of wise women and Augie, wise man. So, Jeff, I don't know whether you want to be in on that one or not.
Probably not necessary.
Okay.
I think they've got a lot of it straightened out. It
I
would
think
be
so
just
too. It would
to
be a pretty quick
review
meeting.
it and just spit it out. It's all basically administrative guys and gal. It's mostly procedural, not policy, so it can be put together. Augie got the tax information done and to Don, so the tax bills are going out. So there was a little hiccup in there because Augie had kind of taken the lead of sorting out the information, and he's gonna renew that effort, you told me the other day, in the next week or so, to get it knocked out so everybody can review it, get together, say, yep. I think I just stressed to everybody that there's always gonna be something that comes up, and we just, it's a living document. It's gonna change from time to time, so as conditions change.
So I'll get with you and take a look at my 2 calendars and go again. So thank you greatly. The only other thing I've done, meeting-wise, was I attended a Ross meeting a couple weeks ago. And that group is very seriously looking at spearheading a recovery home, which I talked about a couple months ago. And they say it's not gonna bring people into Paris to recover, they're already here and they don't have a good place or mechanism to recover that would be safe. So it's more like getting out of rehab and into a home that is supportive, a group setting that they are responsible for themselves basically, rather than getting out of rehab and going back to what got them in trouble in the first place. So that's what they are looking at. There are several different formats that they can go with, and I'm sure that they will keep discussing. Jonathan Burns is very much, very active in this conversation. And there are quite a few, I was really pleased to see there are quite a few HRC staff that are there, and not just because he told them to. And they're very passionate about it. And also, there were 3 staff from Public Health Department there. So, and a lot of ministers. And I think that's a very reassuring thing. Because so, they're, if you count who was there by phone, there are 40 people at every meeting. So that's all I can.
Okay. Just to review, Phil, the groundbreaking is at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Come here to this room, and we'll get started here, and then we'll go across the road for the actual. It's casual. I mean, you need to make sure you have decent foot apparel so you don't get all messed up over
You
there.
don't wear your flip-flops.
I know, it's gonna kill me.
What am I supposed to wear?
Clothes,
Shoes,
You look.
long pants,
boots.
Long plate, yeah,
there's
definitely.
leads and everything else.
I gotta wear long breeches.
Yep.
Kinda like I gotta get back in the closet.
Anyway, it's at 11 o'clock. It won't last long, and we'll have simple refreshments over here afterwards, okay?
Okay. What time
We're
is it,
just
Jim?
wrapping up.
11 here.
Yeah.
How was your meeting today?
Short. I mean, it was only lasted 20 minutes. They just tell us all the money they got, things are growing great. They did one thing that was interesting, that their schools are starting to put in rules that you can't have a cell phone in school anymore. Great idea.
Yes. I agree.
Can't do it in Indiana at all.
That's the way we
And
did it when I
Florida.
was in school. We didn't have a cell phone.
We
They weren't
tried,
invented then, were they?
we tried here, but it didn't work. We tried, it didn't work.
It's because the parents won't let them. Well, that's your own fault. Want to be a wimp?
I don't think it'll work.
Let the kids determine what you do. They're really good around the world.
I have a question on tomorrow, the agenda on number 9 with the vehicle for the coroner. What type of vehicle does he have now?
He has a vehicle that only allows him to carry one body at a time.
Okay.
So he's going to a vehicle that allows him to carry 2.
So what type is he asking for, a van or something?
It's
or-
a Chevy Tahoe.
Yes.
Okay.
He has an Explorer right now.
They're cheap.
And he's gonna take care of that out of his
Okay,
funds.
okay, I just
It
wanted
doesn't
to,
come out of,
I don't know
general
if he
fund
carried
budget.
bodies or not, I thought the
Don't want to be in this.
ambulance should carry the body or,
no, he had 2 occasions. We no longer can get a autopsy done in Champaign. We have to go to Springfield.
okay,
And he's had 2 occasions in the last couple of months where he had 2 bodies
yeah.
that he could have, if he had a vehicle, he could have taken. Instead, he had to make 2 round trips each day. So he just thought it'd be better to,
Can't have it done Terre Haute, can't cross the state line,
I don't know,
that'd be a shame,
at
I
any
think they
rate.
would do it over there.
So, anyway, the certified autopsies are done in Springfield now.
So those have to be like specially tricked out Tahoes?
No. It's just-
Okay, I'm gonna get that visual image.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and I don't know that I wanna think much more.
He has containers that he uses. And I didn't ask, 'cause
Probably a body
They can
bag.
just stack them up in there.
Always like when they put the name on their toe. I worked at Kempton for 2 years, go in there and they'd be laying there and have a tag on their toe.
There's gotta be something better to talk about, Jeff.
that's what I'm thinking, but I don't wanna interrupt.
I used to go to Jeff's up and pick people up on occasion.
You can tell us afterwards.
Bunch of girls.
Augie, do you have things that you wish to discuss?
Well, I just want to clarify that he has a 22 Explorer right now. He's going to trade for a 21 Tahoe. So, just people say he's got a Tahoe, and just clarifying, he's not getting a brand new $80,000 Tahoe.
80,000 wouldn't do it, no.
Okay,
But
100,000.
21 is still pretty nice, those are all good vehicles.
Yes.
So he doesn't need a Suburban, he can do it with a Tahoe.
It seems kinda odd.
Yeah.
That's
Nothing
not
in addition to
really
what.
tall though.
what
Yeah,
you
I
said.
didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, you
You've
did a
been
great
very,
job.
very, very busy.
Yeah, short staff, but we're back to full staff, but we got the taxes all done last week, and so, yeah, several things had to be put on hold, but now can address those. So,
And the bills will go out shortly. The due dates are the end of September and the end of October.
okay.
Okay?
That's good.
Just to give you an idea, unless he changes it for some reason.
That the first one usually around August?
Well, it's supposed to be.
Okay.
We haven't hit it
That
lately.
bothered me.
Anything else to come before the meeting?
You might briefly touch on the meetings we have on the jail, on
The engineering value.
value
Right.
engineering.
I don't know
Lisa might
if
wanna hear
you've read
that.
it in the paper, thank you, Carl. We have had 3 meetings, and they've been somewhat successful. More has been identified. However, they didn't get all of the contracts to the low bidders till just a few weeks ago, and so there hasn't been a lot of contribution from the low bidders yet. So we suggested, and they're gonna, instead of having it every week, we're gonna go every other week, so they can get a little bit more communication done and so forth. It has dropped roughly $100 grand, but, we're looking for more. So that's where we are at this point. We meet here and everybody is online, and we do it telephonically, and it's worked out fine, except that I think we're rushing it a little bit, so
Right.
the first 3 could have been more productive if we'd spread them out to 2 weeks.
I guess my only other question on that, thank you very much for the update. The interest that we've been accruing, what's your vision or your plan on how we spend that?
That is part of what we already said we were gonna.
Right, I mean, what's the mechanism, where, how do you know?
It goes right back into the bond fund.
Yeah.
And then we've been paying, that's why we have so much in there, is because of the interest we've earned.
Right,
And
so
that's how
we're
we-
just gonna keep accruing the interest until we have a bond payment due?
No, the bond payment is made by the safety tax fund. Okay, we get a check or a transfer from the state
Yes.
every month. And then we pay that totally separate from the bond issue.
Okay, so what do you intend on paying with that interest?
It's going back into the project. For example, how did
Well-
we've explained that all the way
So
It
along.
would
we are-
just go
so-
into
but-
there and then.
So that's what we're using to make payments for things right now, so
Right.
the initial, right? I
Yes.
just wanted to make sure that I understood.
Yeah, it's,
So that's our checkbook for what we're paying.
Right.
Because we have to spend X amount of it,
we have to have it committed, we've already done that.
Okay.
We've
committed, that's
We've
correct.
committed everything we need to commit within 3 years,
Okay.
and we're there. We will, and we do see a surplus at the end of that fund that the board may use to handle other things that they wish to do. We're eligible to use that money as long as has to do the way the bonds were written for the courthouse, for public safety. Public safety, everything connected with public safety. If Augie wanted a new printer, no. If the sheriff needed a new printer, yes. Obviously, we hope we're not spending it on something.
Conceivably, you could spend that probably on sidewalks at the courthouse.
You could,
Or
If that
if, or
cuts.
if 911 needs radio equipment or something.
Correct.
That's public safety.
That's
Yeah.
public safety,
Right.
absolutely. See? We don't know where we're.
Do you want me to comment on that, Jeff?
No, not really. We.
How much time do you got?
We don't know how much we're gonna have left.
Right.
We don't foresee issues, but you never know. Let's see, out of the interest money, we were able to pay Michael and his company and still be even with bonds. So, if that makes sense. And we just made a bond payment, 2 payments, actually 3 payments, because we made a payment on the tower, the courthouse tower, which was a 2010 project. And that was an interest payment of about $6,000. We made a bond payment to the Prospect Bank bonds, the 10,000, and that was 232,000.
10 million.
10 million, what'd I say, 10,000?
10,000, 10 million.
Wish it was 10,000. And then we made a bond payment for the latest $8 million worth of bond, and that was 212,000. And then we'll make more payments in December, so they're 1st of June, 1st of December. Oh, and by the way, the money that Angie got, the 800 and some thousand, she had to have that spent by Wednesday, and she did, and we issued a check for 800 and some thousand dollars to get that all out, or she would have lost that money.
Yeah, she called me, because she couldn't get a hold of you, and she goes, I need to write a check, and I said, okay. She told me how much, I said, well, I probably need to talk to Jeff about that.
Yeah, I called Don and said, hey, guess what's gonna hit your account?
Yeah.
So, at any rate, I hope that's helpful. Any other questions on the board meeting? I think everything here is fairly innocuous. Okay, motion to adjourn? Russ moves, Andy seconds, he beat you by a hair. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.
My mother wants to come out of surgery, so I'm